You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Odie, Mari, Sodi, Mari,
Mari Sodi, Mari Sodi.
black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Hey, oh,
Yes, Mo?
are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
I waited as soon as you
Why
said
did you
go.
wait for me to sit down?
Because that would have been.
How am I going to sing the theme song
You should know it by
while
heart.
I'm pressing live?
You should.
And then coming.
You
to
were
sit
here.
down.
You were here
I
with
was
a-
not here
with enough time
You
to
need
jump in
know.
on your
I'm gonna
part
let
of
you
the
know
fucking
for next
song.
time,
So
let me sit down. At least to
Well,
get the
then
headphones on my ears.
get it here faster.
You know what? How about you take the charge of pressing the live button?
It's not my phone.
No. How about you take the charge of pressing the live button, and then you could say
It's
how long
more
it's
cumbersome
supposed
for me
take for
to
you
go all the way
over
around.
there, press the button, and then come over here.
It's more cumbersome for me. See, like I have to.
If you,
I have a whole
well, I'm gonna
thing
let you know,
where
I will
I have
give
to
you
come
enough
all the way over
time
from this
to
side.
Sit down,
I don't think so.
and then
I like the system the
I
way
will
it is.
Press the theme
Let's
song.
not rock the boat.
So the boat needs to be rocked.
Nah, the boat needs to stay chill. We're on rapid waters as it is. Welcome to the Black and Snerdy podcast. Who are we?
Mr. Impatient.
And Mrs. Reliability. I said reliability, not liability.
You know, I don't think I want to do this episode with you.
Oh, come on.
I don't feel like I want to. You're
Oh.
already stressing me out.
How am I stressing you
You're
out?
rushing me, and I
Nobody's
don't feel,
rushing
I don't
you.
Like it.
All right, okay, all right.
I don't feel like I've been eased into the episode. I
Welcome
feel like
to
I'm rushing.
Episode 52 of the Black and Snerdy podcast, where birds of a feather nerd together. I forget what it is.
Oh, you forgot something?
Yeah, I did. I'm only human.
You know, we're going to just get this out of the way.
Yes,
Let's
we're
get the
gonna get this
questions.
podcast out of the way.
Not even going to let you ask a question.
What is the questions? Hit me with that
I'm
sweet
going to
Q&A
hit you. I'm going
from
to hit
O&M.
I'm going to.
I bet you are.
What's the best meal you've had?
That I've had?
Yeah.
I will always remember Cactus Willie's. They had a melted cheese fountain that I used to eat all of my broccoli. And every inch... the doors opened in my mind when I realized that you could put melted cheese on other things other than broccoli.
What?
Because I had only known melted cheese on top of broccoli. So then when I put it on top of a steak, I was like... This is
Melted
mind
cheese
blown.
on steak?
Yes. A cheesy steak.
Where did you have
a
a
cheese
cheesy-
steak, one might say.
Where did you have a cheesy steak?
At Cactus Willie's. It was kind of like a Golden Corral in Baltimore.
Oh, well,
Shout out to anybody who remembers Cactus Willie's. It's no longer there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. The best meal I've ever eaten.
That you've ever had. And notice it says the best meal, not meals, not plural. So you can't do top 3.
Whatever. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You cannot tell me.
I'm just telling you what
What
the card
I
says.
can do.
The card is giving you a very direct
The best
prompt.
meal. I don't know. I feel like I've had so many of them. Damn.
You had so much time too.
Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't go through the inventory of meals in my head while I was trying to pay
for
attention
the record,
to you.
it just says the best meal you've had. Doesn't mean the best meal you've ever had.
What is the difference?
The difference is that you're picking one meal out of a billion meals that you've had over your life. It's asking what's the best meal you've had. It could be interpreted as recently.
Okay, one of the best meals I've had recently was Nobu.
Okay. Nobu was a really good outing.
That
was some really good food.
The steak skewers are still in the tip of my tongue.
Yes. So great,
meat
but
just
so
melted.
small portions. Which makes zero sense if we're living in a world with inflation, why the meat should be so high. But that's just me. That's just me being old Maurice.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next question.
Yeah, hit me with that next question. Hit me with that sweet,
I'm going to hit
next
you.
question.
I will. What 3 adjectives would your family use to describe you? I can think of some.
Loud, vibrant, and introspective, I would say. Because I'm very cerebral. Oh, cerebral. Loud, vibrant, and cerebral.
I would say direct.
Okay.
That
means loud.
That does not mean loud.
It can mean loud.
Direct.
If you're doing it right.
Jovial.
Jovial.
Yes, jovial.
Jovial.
And perhaps, strong-willed.
Okay, I can see strong-willed.
I see what I want. I have laser focus.
So wait, so you said direct, jovial, and loud?
Strong-willed.
Direct, jovial, and strong-willed.
Yes.
Where does loud factor in?
Why are you trying to put your adjectives on me?
I'm just... You said it. The card says what your family would say.
Yeah.
You're a very loud person.
Okay.
And I think your family would say that.
But that might not be in their top 3.
It's easily the top 10. Top 5. Top 4.
Maybe they're top 5.
Yeah.
I can see top 5.
All right. What's the next question?
That's it. Just those 2.
Oh, just those 2?
Yeah, I'm slimming it down, you know? I thought you would appreciate a truncated question and answer portion.
Sure, fine.
So are you ready to go to our favorite part? Well, it's not our favorite part, but you know.
Yes.
One of the parts that we are
on to the next part, which is pop culture.
Pop culture. All right. So I want to say that this week is actually it's not the worst.
It's not the worst?
It's not the worst.
Because the last few weeks have been pretty dark, if I do say so myself.
They have. I mean, it's hard when you're living in this trash bag ass era in time.
In the city.
So I did see. Okay, so I will start with like the most ridiculous things, and then
yes,
we shall work our way down. So I remember we talked about Nick Cannon was having his 9th baby.
Number 9, feeling fine.
His 9th baby was born this last week, and then now he has a 10th and 11th one on their way.
Yes.
But something interesting, some legal experts said that he will soon be paying $3 million a year in child support.
When I read that, I thought I misread it, and I thought it was $3 million per child, which would have been seriously a lot. That's too many children and too much.
But I mean, $3 million.
But $3 million is a lot just for various babies
it's
and
basically
baby
like
mamas.
He's paying these women to have the children. Like they don't have to work; they're just getting the.
Yeah, they're getting what, like $3 million divided by 9, almost 10.
Well, some of them have multiple children by him,
okay.
So it could be $3 million divided by like I don't know 6 women. You know,
right.
That's still a lot of money.
That is so much money.
And that's only child support. That's not talking about like, oh, you know, incidentals or you need to get the kid something that day. It's like, hey, I'm going to ask
this
your father for
man
it.
never wants to stop working. Like, you know how like they say that our generation won't have any kind of retirement? Nick Cannon's not going to have any retirement. He can't.
I mean, he definitely probably I believe that he would have enough money to stop working if he wanted to, because he's been working for a long time.
At least
he has
until
like Nickelodeon money.
These kids are 18.
He has like drumline money.
How old is Nick Cannon right now?
He's probably like 40. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look that up because like
It's probably. I think it said he was 41 in this article. Hold on.
like I just want to know what 18 plus
He's 41.
He's 41, so 18 plus 41, that is 59. Ooh, so he's gonna be working until he's 60.
At the bare minimum. Because even after 18, what if the kids want to go to college?
Yeah,
Because I don't know about everywhere
the
else.
hardest working black man in entertainment right now.
If they're going,
Nick Cannon.
If they go to grad school, like that's up till what, 23, 24. If they want to be like a doctor or a lawyer, they could be in school until they're 30.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a good point. At that point, he might as well just like buy the wing of a college so that all of his kids can just be funneled right into.
Well, he did go to Howard, so I guess he could try to get them. You know, you like generally if you're a legacy, you can get like some sort of discount.
What if he was trying to convince his kids that they don't need college?
I mean, that's
just so
true.
he didn't have to pay.
Do you want to hear something strange?
What?
This is a conspiracy theory that I had the other day.
Yes.
And I was not inebriated at all. I was just like having this random thought that
Unlike me. Where's mine?
Nick Cannon and Kim Kardashian are different sides of the same coin.
How so?
Like, I feel like Kim Kardashian, or just the Kardashian clan, you know, like they keep having these, you know, biracial children.
Yes.
Because I feel like they're like, oh, we want to like have more black people on our side. Okay. Whereas Nick Cannon, I feel like he's on the flip side. He's like, I'm going to keep having all these racial babies with these racially ambiguous women, except for one. He's like one dark-skinned black woman. But I'm going to keep having all these babies with these racially ambiguous children to create like a Hotep Fotep Army.
An army of children.
Of like, yeah. Of
That's
racially
not
ambiguous children.
That's not a very intimidating army.
Yeah, but I feel like he's going to try to be like, you know, these are the leaders of the next of the new revolution.
The pressure that these kids are gonna be under.
He's gonna be like having Dr. Umar bring them to his non-existent school.
It's not.
Whenever Dr. Umar's school finally gets off the ground, when he finally shows up with those $1 million donations.
I mean, those sessions that he's having in the back of a van in Jersey somewhere.
He's gonna rent a WeWork.
That's his school.
He's gonna rent a WeWork, and all the scammers are just gonna be.
Yeah.
Learning together. Okay. Well, speaking of scammers, remember that pastor we talked about a few weeks ago, Bishop Lamor Whitehead?
Yes.
Who got robbed.
He got robbed on camera.
Robbed.
You got candid camera. That's exactly what that means now.
Candid camera?
Yeah, where you get robbed for your candies.
Oh.
On camera.
Okay, sure. Well, in this week, it's not that he was being robbed, but he was actually like assaulting one of the parishioners at his church. Now, it's not really clear what the argument was about, but he basically is like, you know, doing his spiel on the live stream and is like, you know, to anyone who wants to, you know, be taking pictures, so be on social media and stuff like this. And then you hear this woman in the back kind of talking. So she like walks in front of the camera. They're going back and forth. And next thing you know, he grabs her by the neck and is like pushing her out. And if you saw the look on his face,
it was an aggressive choke.
He looked at her like he was about to fight her.
It was what many would consider a yank.
He yoked her up.
He yanked her up.
And to me, I'm like, whatever she was saying or doing in your church, if she was taking pictures or making fun of your ugly suit, like
it was very ugly.
It was just not cute.
You know, just pastels or whatever.
It wasn't even that it was the fabric. It was just ugly. He does not know how to dress. He spends all this money on his clothing and he still doesn't look good.
I wonder if like that's FU money. That's
exactly
money.
What it is.
He has so much money that he could buy these terrible suits to wear.
You know what was happening? Well, during his sermon, the woman was like, so we are giving this pastor all of our money to sit in this little box of a church while he's wearing these ugly ass outfits. And so she was taking pictures. He noticed her snickering at him and was like, oh, we gotta get her out of here.
Get her the fuck out.
That's what I think happened. But he just never
allegedly. I mean, on the camera, he did. It is on camera that he grabbed her. So
he grabbed her and was talking about get her out, and told her press
assault.
charges with whatever however you want to do it. Press charges if you want to. Like it's no wonder that he and Eric Adams are friends.
Eric Adams is friends with this dude?
Are you kidding me?
Seriously?
Yes.
Ah, gross.
You know, Luke Adams. I was gonna
you
say.
want to say Luke Adams.
Eric Adams reminds me of the corrupt. What was Mahershala Ali's character in Luke Cage?
Oh shoot! I want to say Nipsey something.
It was him, and then like Alfred Woodard was the mayor.
Yeah.
It's like he's both of their characters together. He loves
just mixed in one.
He just loves being at a party.
Yes.
And then showing off his zoot suits.
Yes.
That he's using our money.
These
to pay
are
for.
those Tex Avery style suits that the Wolf would wear. That
they
would
both
go
get their suits at the same place.
Yeah, they probably do.
They have the same tailor.
Yes. One of those suit stores on Flatbush Ave that's clearly
the
a drug
Stacey
front.
Adams with every pair of Stacey Adams in every color just sitting right there in the front. But I mean, he just continues to be just the opposite of what you would believe a true man of God would be with his shenanigans, and I can't wait for him to no longer have the funds of those people in his neighborhood to siphon off of for his shenanigans.
Yeah. Like every week that he's in the public eye should be every week where his parishioners leave in droves. It'd be just like
Honk for Jesus.
Honk for Jesus.
But I was gonna mention that to you and be like, it's kind of he reminds me of that pastor.
Yeah.
But I honestly, the thing about Honk for
he has
Jesus,
the abs.
don't tell him that, or he's gonna start stripping on his
Lord.
live streams. I feel like it reminds me of Honk for Jesus in the way that, yeah, those parishioners, left for the whatever the scandal was. We won't spoil it for you, but I think that in most churches we have seen how time and time again these pastors will do whatever they want to do, and will just because they're anointed. Their parishioners will just let them go. Because look how long it took for Creflo Dollar is still a big, huge pastor. Mm-hmm. And even though right now he's like pushing back against prosperity gospel and, he doesn't need a jet from his parishioners anymore. Like that was a key part of his ministry.
Yes.
And it's not like he's not giving people back all that money he took from them.
Yeah.
He just is all of a sudden saying now he's seen a change to heart. Is it a bad thing that he did? No. Will he hopefully do better? I mean, I'm not going to say...
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell, but we don't see these pastors who are taking advantage of the people that they're supposed to be serving. We don't really see them fail the way that one would hope.
Right.
But and other people that I wish would fail... Tory Lanez is back in the news again for being a violent person yet again. This time...
What did he do this time?
Strangely enough, he attacked August Alsina. I guess they were doing a concert together, and it's not funny that he attacked August Alsina. But I'm just going to read you from the post. August Alsina posted up on Instagram picture of his bruises and this caption, which, I'm sorry, it made me laugh. I'm exiting the building after the show last night. A 4'11" sized leprechaun ran down on me with 8 oversized security guards whom I greeted each individually upon their walk up as they tried to press me. Whole time I'm one deep, no security. Tory continued to ask me with a broken ego why I didn't dap him up. I go on to tell him I'm a fan of him and didn't understand him speaking on my business publicly in the past because I don't know him or ever met him up until that night. He must be talking about, entanglements with August.
Entanglements, yes.
So when he spoke, it caught me off guard because of his past actions. I assumed he didn't like me, that's all. Not to mention with my history of health and conditions, just recently overcoming being paralyzed, my doctor directed me not to compromise my health while on the road and shake so many interesting ways of typing here. Basically, the doctor told him not to touch any people due to the corona, monkeypox, and all that's going on.
Yes, his system is compromised.
Compromised.
Yeah, I think I wanted to say compromised for some reason.
It sounds
Compromised
something along those lines.
and complicit. Anyhow, compromised.
So he goes on to say that after Tory Lanez hit a blunt that he believes was laced in cocaine, because I heard the sizzle, that Tory punched him and then ran behind.
He heard the sizzle.
Apparently, that's what happens if you have weed dipped in cocaine. I don't know.
That it sizzles?
Apparently, it sizzles. Who knows? I don't know. I've never seen or heard
and
of that.
I will never be around that.
So, I don't know. But apparently, he did this. He smoked. Tory punched him, then ran behind his guards and, ran away. And so he was like, he needs to come online and clear the air because Tory is basically telling the blogs that he beat him up. Now, I'm guessing the guards must have continued beating him up because he was badly bruised. But, I mean, honestly, it's just another time of Tory Lanez being a trash human.
Yeah, Tory Lanez's court thing got delayed, I think, as well.
Oh, with Megan Thee Stallion?
With Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, that got delayed. So it's going to be... Unfortunately, we're going to have to hear more about... We're not going to have to, but he's still around. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, so that sucks. But what are you going to do?
I mean, I guess...
Maybe be a better person, Tory. Just...
Sure, that's not going to happen.
I know it's not. It ain't happening. It already hasn't happened, so...
If he wasn't going to get better after shooting someone in the foot, allegedly, then I don't think that this is going to be the part that changes him.
Yeah.
All right, and more terrible people. The Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury owner Robert Sarver has been suspended from the NBA for 1 year and fined 10 million buckaroos after investigation about him being terrible in the workplace that came out that he was saying racist, misogynistic, and other bigoted things and other bigoted behavior. The NBA had been investigating different forms of workplace abuse, and they interviewed, the report says they interviewed 320 people, current and former employees, and had more than 80,000 documents and materials such as emails, text messages, and video. So they had the receipts. It wasn't like so-and-so said Robert said this and then they fined him. But I'm glad. I mean, like, for him, they said that the money of the fine is going to go to organizations dedicated to, like, racial and social justice, which is fine. But I'm curious, like, let's see how much he hit Robert.
If he needs to make some income, he could probably get hired as an Uber driver because Lord knows they love saying racist things while they drive.
I mean, the fact that he said it so like casually.
Yeah, it was a casually angry thing, as if he didn't have passengers in his car.
So you know that he says that like on a frequent
all the time.
Basis.
Yeah.
So I'm looking it up online to see what Robert Sarver's net worth is, and it's allegedly 800 million. So I don't really feel like 10 million is enough. 10 million is the cap that the NBA can charge. But like 10 million, when you make 800 million.
Where does that money go? That's what I want to know. I want to know where the money goes.
Probably blackface parties, like secret blackface blackface parties, like in like they'll rent like some sort of dungeon space.
It'll be like Midsummer, but way worse.
Yes. And then, they dress up in blackface, then yellow face and brown face. They love
face paint.
They love that.
Awful shoe polish.
Which has to be terrible for your skin.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think they are aging horribly? Because of all the blackface that they're wearing. The chemicals are getting into their skin and making them like pockmarked and wrinkly.
I mean, let
that be a lesson.
Hypothesis.
If you are face painting and you are doing blackface, you will have all those chemicals and you'll pay for it years later. That and the combination that you don't moisturize.
I think that was all of the terrible news this week.
Ooh, then let's get
So
into
I think we
something
can get into
nice.
something nice.
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
Something enjoyable, and we can kick it off with our favorite queen of the summer, fall, spring, and winter, Beyonce. She has been entered into the Guinness World Records again this year for female artist with the most engagement on Twitter, the artist with the most nominations in the VMA's Video of the Year category, and the female artist with the most Grammy nominations. So shout out to her. We love you, Beyonce. And now this has not been confirmed. However, I did see yesterday that a Twitter user named Virgo's Groove, because Renaissance, said that Beyonce Act 2 tracks have been added to the ASCAP, and it does have a thread with proof of songs called A Mile Away, Baddie B, Chart Topper. There's a bunch of songs. So I'm hoping
that you're going to get a
true.
deluxe version of the Renaissance album.
Well, she said that this was going to be this is going to have 3 acts. So there's been debates whether it was going to be Act 1 was Renaissance, Act 2 was the visuals, Act 3 was the concert, or if we were going to have 3 different acts of music.
3 different albums.
I mean, I would be totally into that. But I mean,
an album a year.
I don't know if it'll be every once a year. I just want her to give us all the music and then put a tour out.
I think that's what she's going to do. I think now that I say it, I'm saying it out loud. It makes sense. She puts out Renaissance as the first album, and then the next year puts out an album. The next summer puts out an album, and then does a mega worldwide tour to cover all 3 years. And that means the fucking Beehive needs to save up their money now, because come 2024, there's going to be a world tour of 3 albums worth of material. And she's going to sing Love on Top and some Homecoming shit. So get ready. Be prepared. Get that budget.
Prepared.
Get it right. Get it tight and get it right.
You have to. You have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. Keep your money tight so that you can get your tickets right.
You need a B budget.
Yes, a B budget.
Yeah.
Yes. Never mind. That's something different. I was gonna say Plan B.
Not that.
Make sure you pay for Plan B.
Also,
put your money.
Maybe you should, because can you
Plan
really, party as hard as you want to?
Okay. I was in this hole. You didn't have to jump into it with me.
You took me there. I just,
Okay, Maya from the Rugrats soundtrack. I want to go there.
In more Black women magical news.
Black women magical news.
The Woman King, starring Viola Davis and John Boyega, came out this weekend on Friday, and it has a great opening of $19 million. So the movie follows the Dahomey warriors, and I mean, if you know what we know about them, is that they helped to rid their country of I believe it was the Portuguese for a very long time, until they were eventually conquered. There is a little bit of controversy about their story, because we do know that they also
there was some slave trafficking going.
Which during that time when they were in a kingdom, that's not really that far-fetched that would be happening. But I think that as much as that's possible and true, I think that people should definitely read from credible sources. Go on, find a JSTOR article.
Go to the library.
Ask somebody named Margaret, who's going to show you where to find.
Susan.
That's my mom's name.
I know. It's also the name of a librarian I know.
She always
Shout
makes
out to
Ryan
Susan.
read books. So shout out to you, Mom. Go look this up at the library. Have them give you some help because they will be able to give you credible sources.
Yes.
Don't go to the .net, .random com or whatever. Like
Don't go to Bleacher Report.
No.
Don't go to
a real credible source.
Sportskeeda.
So there are plenty of like Black professors who study Black history and African history.
Ask Dr. Carr.
Go to how Dr. Carr could tell you, and even there was the head of the African Studies Department. Like there's so many. I want to say his last name is Chukwu, but I don't want to mix it up. Anyway, there are plenty of universities, HBCUs,
Plenty of sources
around the country that can help you with this. You can find the information and even if they were involved, that's part of history. So learn it and do with that information as you will. Like, I don't think that means you shouldn't watch it. It just means that now you're more informed. Because if you didn't know, a lot of people who have done lots of amazing things have also possibly done things that we would consider shitty.
atrocities.
Like at this time,
You don't get a movie made about you if you haven't committed some kind of atrocity at some point in the world. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. Like, how many biopics did we have of Steve Jobs? And all that slave labor just to make an iPhone smaller.
Okay. So another little bit of controversy is John Boyega was getting slammed because in an interview he did with the British GQ that came out on September 13th, he was talking about how he loves he only dates Black women. He said, I only date Black, then it's about chemistry, personality, goals. Is there a synergy? Can I help you? Can you help me? And then people, of course, were trying to drag him on Twitter. And he was like, he said something like, do you think that when white people or like when white men say they like blondes and brunettes, they're talking about wigs? No. Like, and I'm like, you know what, John? I love you.
That's fair. That is absolutely true.
I think that.
Like, ooh, I like them blonde and blue-eyed, so I like contacts and fucking wigs. Nobody says that. Nobody's saying it.
I think that like people are, whenever like a Black man says like, oh, I don't date Black women because they're angry or I just don't relate to them or whatever. People like the main media is like, oh, okay, cool. We love that you're so diversity, equity, and inclusion, but saying like I love Black women and I want to date a Black woman like that and marry a Black woman and that's who I look for having a relationship with, I don't see that as a negative. He's not putting anyone down in his statement. He didn't say, I don't date white women because, you know, they can't cook or something like that. Like, he just said, I love Black women. And I think that as a Black person, you should be able to say that. And I think that due to history, a Black or a non-white person saying, I love to date the people within my
diaspora.
Sure.
My patois.
Okay, no, that doesn't work.
My orbit. Rule of
Fine,
three,
fine,
son.
fine,
Rule of threes.
Fine. I think that is a difference between when a white person's like, I only date white. To complete the Aryan race.
There's nothing wrong with John Boyega saying that he likes Black women. And he likes to date Black women. I like white. Oop, sorry. Freudian slip. I like what I was trying to say was that I like that he has pronounced this. I think I was trying to say I like while he, whatever, it doesn't even matter.
Do you want to talk more about your love of?
I love Black women.
Sound very
and I'm very
unsure.
single, ladies and gentlemen.
Sound very unsure about
if
that.
If y'all are out here,
all right,
send an email to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Yes, this is the speed dating portion of the show.
Send me those digits, and I'll hit you back.
Are you ready to continue?
Yes, I am.
All right. So, a Black woman that we all know and love Whitney Houston, R.I.P., gone too soon.
Gone too soon.
She is getting a biopic released that's coming. It's called I Want to Dance with Somebody, and it comes out December 21st. And British actress and BAFTA award winner Naomi Ackie is playing her role. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. We watched the trailer earlier.
The trailer looked amazing.
It looks really
gave me
good.
so many feels.
I feel like
I told you I cry every time I listen to Whitney Houston, right? Just because it reminds me of how she's gone from us too soon.
Yeah, and she really had a beautiful arc with her life. I mean, like, she went from this, like, underdog to being this pop star.
Pop sensation!
And then, like, she had a rough patch, and she was coming back, and, like, at the peak of her
Gone too soon.
renaissance, she unfortunately was taken from us. So thank you to Whitney for all that you shared.
Thank you, Whitney.
She was definitely the soundtrack of the 80s and late 80s and 90s.
Yes, she was.
You can't think about music without thinking about her. And we love her so much.
I'll probably sing a song from her when we come back.
Okay, so did you watch the Emmys?
I watched the clips.
No, I watched the clips too. Whatever channel it comes on, I do not have. So I very rarely get to watch it live unless I go to like a bar where they're like, we're watching the Emmys.
Yeah, and even
I haven't
then,
done that in
like,
a
they
while.
usually don't have the sound on.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't want to watch the screen.
Right?
I want to
Like,
listen.
why would I? Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on bar etiquette.
It's annoying. Why?
It is.
Why? It's so, like, make the noise of the TV loud so everyone knows we should be paying attention to what's playing. And then, like, we'll talk amongst ourselves once it's over. Can we have an hour and a half of just quiet time?
Yeah, exactly.
But the Emmys happened. I did watch some of the clips, and I'm going to tell you some of my favorite moments and then some moments I thought were kind of cringy.
Okay, there you go.
So Sheryl Lee Ralph won her Emmy for Abbott Elementary.
Shout out to you.
She's the second black woman to win an Emmy for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series.
After
since
Jackie Harris.
Harry.
Oh, sorry. Jackie Harry.
Yeah, but after 35 years.
Okay.
And Jackie posted a beautiful tweet. She had a tweet and like social message to her saying like, welcome to the club, glad you're here. And I mean, she was amazing. She sang a song, what's her name? Sheryl Lee Ralph sang a song by Diane Reeves called Endangered Species, which was very beautiful. Everyone, I'm sure, was there crying and just shouting for her. So I'm very glad that she won. Lizzo won.
Yeah,
and is
shout out to
getting
Lizzo.
Closer and closer and closer to an EGOT.
Lizzo, close to. She's got what? The EG? She's got the G. She's got the
She has an
egg.
Emmy and a Grammy.
She has an Emmy and a Grammy. So
She
she's
just
got
needs to
the
get an
egg.
Oscar and a Tony.
Yeah, she's got to get that.
Ot. She won Outstanding Competition Program for the show Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, which I haven't watched yet. It's on Amazon.
It's
but
on
I heard
Amazon.
it's really good.
Yeah, I heard it's really good too.
Everyone I've heard, my sister liked it, and she's not really like, she's very picky.
She's not like a Lizzo person.
No, she finds Lizzo to be
She's just
fine,
picky
but just
with
in
her
general,
media.
like,
Okay,
it
gotcha.
shows she's picky.
Good to know.
And okay, what else happened? There was Keenan Thompson was the host.
Yes.
He looked pretty cool. He did a lot of jokes.
Cal Mitchell showed up.
He did. I liked that they bring him around because I feel like he has given so much to comedy.
Yes, he was on Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was T-Bone, the little chubby pit bull.
Oh, cute. And just, as a black kid growing up in the 90s, seeing him was like...
I dropped the screw in the tuna. I'll never forget that.
That
I'll
was a
always
great
remember
song.
that. Yes.
That was great.
Great. It was a great sketch from Keenan and Kel.
Some other shows that I like that won. Squid Game won.
Yes.
A lot of Emmys. Ted Lasso won a lot of Emmys.
I gotta get a certain someone to come back over here so that they could give me their Apple password so that I can watch the remainder of Ted Lasso.
The White Lotus one, I have to finish it.
I haven't started it.
I think I'm like midway through. It's just like, it's really good. It's funny, but it was just kind of angst-inducing in certain moments, and so it was stressing me out.
Yeah.
That and Hacks, which Hacks, I believe, also won or was nominated.
I think Hacks was nominated.
And it was really good, and I just haven't finished it because of my anxiety. But now to another part that I thought was great, but also cringe-worthy, was Quinta Brunson won.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to Quinta.
Shout out to her. She won for outstanding writing for Abbott Elementary, and this was her first Emmy, so it was a really huge night. Mm-hmm. She looked gorgeous.
She was gorgeous.
Standing up for us short queens, because they never like to look at like a short girl with a beautiful gown and be like, oh, look how stunning she looks. It's like, oh, she's so cute and like looks like a little pixie. Like, no, she just looked gorgeous and stunning. It was her moment. And then comedian Jimmy Kimmel decided, for whatever reason, to lay himself on the stage while she was accepting her award. And she kind of just like laughs it off and goes along with the speech. But it's just like, when we watched Sheryl Lee Ralph's speech, and it's just like, it's very moving and poignant, and everyone's so excited for her. Mm-hmm. And Quinta deserved to get that moment as well.
She did.
For her first time being at the Emmys.
She did. Getting
this outstanding award for an outstanding show that 100% deserved it. Mm-hmm. And then having this man just stealing her spotlight. And
stealing that thunder
for no reason. Like, why? It wasn't funny. And she went on his show the following Wednesday. He apologized and said, sorry for stealing her moment. And she was like, well, I was just up there with my Emmy and feeling good, and I really didn't care, which is great, which is awesome for her. But it's like, it pisses me off that Black women, when we are at the pinnacle of our success and we're just trying to get what is owed to us, always seem to have a random white man coming through and putting shenanigans in the sauce.
Like when Adrian Brody kissed Halle Berry.
Yes. When he assaulted her on stage.
Yes.
And nobody seemed to care. Because it was just like, oh, it's so funny. Ha, 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 ha. He's kissing her. She's so beautiful. She has no agency over her body. But who cares?
Ridiculous.
And it's just like, let people have their moment. Mm-hmm. And like, grateful that he apologized. But it shouldn't have taken the whole internet, and I know Sheryl Lee Ralph said she also spoke to him, to teach you how to have home training. Like, I know that having privilege is
blinding. Sometimes you're just blinded.
But you really have to pay attention to how other people
read the room
are going to be impacted by your behavior. He says he was drunk, and like Will Arnett told him to go up there. Like, who knows? But it's just like, it's kind of very telling of the way.
Don't blame Will on your behavior. Will didn't do anything.
But it's just very indicative to how Black women are treated in America and around the world. Like, we can't even enjoy our spotlights because there is somebody lurking in the background trying to make a joke out of our hard work.
You wanted to say Howard work.
No, I don't know what I was trying to say. It just came out wrong. But
still, shout out to Quinta.
We love Abbott Elementary. I cannot wait. I think the
season 2 is coming out soon.
Next week. I think so.
If not this coming week, then next week.
I'm very excited. I'm going
Same
to
here.
Be putting it on and watching it multiple times.
I'm gonna watch it by myself.
You're so funny.
Yes, I am. Yes,
you're hilarious. I am. Well, that's all I got for you for the pop culture.
Okay, if that's everything for the pop culture, we can ease on into a commercial break. And what?
What commercials?
We will be back with more of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
If tomorrow is Judgment Day and I'm standing on the front line and the Lord asks me what I did with my life, I will say I spent it with you. If I wake up in World War III, I see destruction and poverty, and I feel like I wanna go home. It's okay if you're coming with me. You're so right. You're so right. 'Cause your love is my love, and my love is your love. It would take an eternity to break us, and the chains of armor star couldn't hold us. Your love is my love, and my love is your love. It would take an eternity to break us, and the chains of armor star couldn't hold us. Okay. And we're back. How was that?
Yay, Whitney.
Yeah, I told you I'd sing some Whitney.
I knew you were going. I didn't think that was the song you were going to pick, though.
What did you think I was going to do?
I'm Your Baby Tonight.
I am saving that for another day.
Okay. Are you ready for questions?
Yes. This is our mental health section. During our mental health section, we check in with each other. We also ask each other a question because we are mental health advocates, not experts. And we're lucky enough to both be able to enjoy self-care.
Sure.
Yeah. So hit me with that cue. That sweet
Shut
cue.
up.
That cue.
Oh my, are you high right now?
Are you?
No, I wish I was, so I had not experienced that.
Oh, please. You've seen me bark before.
Done on camera. Are you a typical example of your position in the family birth order? I'm going to answer that for you. Yes.
How am I?
How are you the typical example of the baby of the family?
First off, I am the youngest son and child of my family, so I would not call me a baby.
Are you the...
My dad always says that his babies are in their 30s.
You're still his babies.
But the point is that we're in our 30s, so
Still a
don't
baby.
call us babies. We're not babies.
Are you the youngest child of both of your
I
parents?
am the youngest child of the entire Licorish household.
Yes, and...
Minus my nephew, obviously.
Like it.
How do I act? How do you act? How do you act like the?
The youngest child?
Well, you're not the youngest, are you?
Not anymore. I was for a bit.
Yeah, for
10 years, I was the youngest.
Yeah, but
and then I became.
So how do you act like the your child order?
I believe that I act like the second oldest / middle / used to be youngest in a variety of ways. Both I have the freedoms that come with being the younger one or the used to be the baby for some time, because you know your older siblings, they create a path so that you could have an easier way. And then I went to do that for my younger siblings. So I feel like I know the best of both worlds, of both being the youngest and also being the middle older kid.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. That's all for the questions.
All right. So
how are you
how
now?
are
I'm
you?
doing it first.
Every now and then, you get on my side, and I'm just like, what do you want from me?
How are you doing this week?
I am doing great. I had my final therapy session yesterday. It was a bit sad.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously left the door open in case I wanted to talk in the future sometime.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me her, personal contact, which I will use responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Not just gonna text her, hey, like, you up because I got sadness incoming, anything like that. That sounds like a threat. I've got.
Are you up? I'm
sadness.
sad. Talk to me.
That's basically what I mean when I say "Are you up?" Anyway. So,
Well,
it is what it is. But it was a really nice goodbye session, I would say. Like, she, we talked about the growth that has happened. What have I learned? How can I use those tools in everyday life? And yeah, I think I feel confident going out into the world a better and well-adjusted person. And if I ever need to go back into therapy, the door is always open.
that's good.
Because she accepts my insurance. I'm still not over that.
It was a
I'm
tough.
still not over it.
That was a tough moment, but you did it. You got through.
Yes.
Is that all? Is that all you wanted to say?
Yes,
about your
that is
feelings?
everything I wanted to say.
I feel like my mental health has been pretty good this week. Work has been pretty demanding, I would say, but I do feel a bit what's the word? I feel good that I've been learning a lot and being able to put that work into practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that was one of the things I was worried about, was like, am I going to be able to do the work? Is it going to be too stressful? Like, am I going to be confused? Or, all the things you think about when you get a new job. So
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad so far that things have been so far so good, and I've been getting the support I needed, because that's always great. And then therapy was really good this week. I got to speak with my other therapist, the one that's just strictly for the ADHD.
Yes.
So I was glad to do that and get the ball rolling again with her, because we've been kind of on a hiatus. And then with my main therapist, it was really good because I feel like we were talking about things that we hadn't really. I mean, we were talking about a subject that we've been talking about for a while. But she made what is the word? It's not an assessment. She made an observation.
Okay, she gave you an observation.
About the fears that I have about, or the I guess fears or lack of trust I have about people in my life and whether or not they care for me, and that's not something that we've, I won't say that we haven't broached it at all, but this was the first time I feel like we really kind of hit the nail on the head about that, which was really good, because it was definitely having me think about a lot of my interactions with people, both familial, friend, romantic, all of those levels of relationships where that type of trust is difficult for me. So I was glad to talk about that, because it wasn't something that I came in there thinking we were going to talk about, but it just came up. So I've been not ruminating, because I feel like ruminate is a harsh term, but I've been. What's another word that's stronger than just thinking? I've been
Overthinking?
No.
Dwelling.
No, these sound negative connotations, I feel like.
You've been festering.
What part of not wanting to have a negative connotation are you not getting?
You've been thinking about it. I don't know. Like,
Fine.
what else is there?
Thinking. I've
Jesus.
been thinking about it. I say I would like
I'm
a
sorry
better term.
that all these
you
words
keep giving me worse
mean
and worse terms.
the same thing.
But they all sound
They're
terrible.
all fucking
I said, give me a better word for ruminate, and you said fester. At what point could fester be better than ruminate?
It makes you think that ruminating's not that bad anymore.
Okay.
Ruminating's now looking like a pretty good word.
But no, that was it. That's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That has been our mental health check-in. Of course, not everything is all hunky-dory. So let us go into the part of the podcast where we talk about the things that made us mad. Our gripes right here.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
So, why don't you start us off? What's making you angry?
All right. Okay.
I could do mine. Mine's relatively quick.
Yours is quick? Okay.
Yes.
You do
Uber
yours.
drivers, don't be racist with me in the car. It seems like it's a simple thing not to drop the N-word when I'm in the car, but maybe don't do that at all, okay? Look, I know that the recent health mandates have made it so that Uber drivers no longer have to wear masks in the cars. But even still, fucking, if you're going to be racist, hide your fucking face. Because now I know what your face looks like. And I'm like, boy, oh boy, I hope to never get in a cab with you, guy whose name I'm not going to say. Actually, I don't even think I can because I think you ordered it and it's on your phone. I guess I just didn't rate the guy that I just caught a lift with.
Oh, no.
Oh, well. He seemed okay. It's fine. Either way, point is, racism has nowhere in the same galaxy to do with me or my ride home. So keep it to your fucking selves. Don't be fucking racist. It's so hard. It's so hard for me to sit here and be like, come on, guys, don't be racist. I sound like I'm in a fucking cartoon. Like, everybody has some differences. Everybody is not the same. Why don't we get on board and stop being racist?
I think that what the parts that were also a bit jarring to me was one that he was like a Southeast Asian, older
He was not black.
gentleman.
And he was not white.
And then the person he was yelling at, I don't think they were a black person either.
Yeah, it was just a black car.
Like,
is that what racist is? Is that
just
what
was
racist
yelling
road
out,
rage is? It's just like,
nigger,
yeah.
for the sake of yelling it. And I'm just like, I'm like, is this, because I'm like, on one hand, I was thinking like, okay, well, in other countries, how, like, what do they know? But I'm like, I know that even in
That's
other
a pretty
countries,
universal
it's a
one,
universal word. And also that word has been used against other groups outside of black people in a derogatory fashion. So it's not like you could never say that you didn't hear that word and be like, oh yes, this is jarring, this is terrible, I didn't like it. So people, they definitely, please do better. And I thank you for reminding me, because I was really going back and forth about whether or not I was going to tell Uber about this. But it was very uncomfortable, and I shouldn't be uncomfortable in my Uber ride that I'm paying for.
Yeah, come on. If I'm giving you money, don't be a fucking racist, bro.
I mean, even if I'm not giving you money, but especially if I'm giving you money.
Don't put my tax dollars at work on some fucking racism. So, fuck that.
Well, speaking of racism, our country again is being its usual trash self.
Our country racistly.
Well, there are a few senators. I'm not going to continue. If you're going to do another
I'm not
one,
gonna do another one.
do it before I finish reading.
So racistly. Yeah. That's it.
Are you done?
Yes,
Are
I
you
am.
Good?
I don't have any more.
The youngest child, indeed.
Oh, stop it.
So, this past week, Greg Abbott and some other Texas people, lawmen in government, decided they were going to send migrants from the Texas border up north. They sent to several places, including the Vice President Kamala Harris's house. But two busfuls got up there, which was extremely just not even the fact of that sending it to her house is definitely like a security breach, but you're using these people who are in need of safety and a home and just like whatever else that someone who's been fleeing from a dangerous situation would need as a pawn in your political protests because they're upset about Biden's immigration policy. So they're just like, oh, fuck you. Here's what we're going to do. And then you're putting these people in harm's way because you're sending them to D.C. with nothing. They have no promise of anything. They're assuming they're coming here to get maybe a home, a job, etc. And you're giving them nothing. Right. And what was interesting is I found an article discussing how this is not the first time that racist Republicans have done this. Apparently, during the Civil Rights Movement, they created things called reverse freedom rides, which were basically a plan to transport thousands of black people from the South up to the North. And I found a newspaper clipping from around that time where it was talking about how they were loading up busloads of black people to go to Detroit and telling them that they had jobs and housing set up for them. When they got there was nothing. There was nothing. So this is just a continued exploitation of the people who need the help the most. And another reason why we again have to continuously band together in solidarity, because it does not matter who or what your race or ethnicity or nationality is. When racism and white supremacy, or the delusions of people who are deluded by the belief of their white supremacy, come along, they're going to screw over whoever they can for their own gain. And it just really sucks because you're paying people to run your country and run your states and with honor and integrity, and you have childish, petty, dangerous games being played with people's lives who don't need it and really are the most vulnerable for really any amount of things, like going to a new city and being robbed or somehow trafficked or assaulted or whatever the case may be. It's like you're putting more of a strain on that city's resources. And we already know that DC does not have a great track record when it comes to getting the funds for people who are in need of housing and food and jobs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just really fucked up. And I hope that all those families that are being shuttled around and taking these long, arduous journeys are going to get somewhere safe soon, and be able to, continue this next chapter of their life.
Me too.
Okay, and the last thing I wanted to talk about, so have you ever heard of this girl named Piper Lewis?
No.
Well, apparently when she was 15 years old, this young black girl was sex trafficked and ended up murdering her kidnapper, 37-year-old Zachary Brooks, in Des Moines, Iowa. And she was just recently on Tuesday was sentenced to 5 years probation by the Polk County District Judge David M. Porter. And she's going to be possibly facing 20 years in prison if she violates any of the terms, which include wearing a tracking device, living in a residential facility, and completing 120 hours of community service. She also has to pay $150,000 to the family of Brooks because of an Iowa law that came about in 1997, where if you murder someone, regardless of the circumstances, you need to pay their family restitution.
Jesus, Des Moines.
Now, if this, like the idea of causing someone paying the family of someone they murdered, I don't think that is a terrible idea. However, I think that like laws need to be looked at in sometimes a case by case basis. Someone murdering their attacker, someone who's been raping them and holding them against their will, is not the same as someone, killing someone during a carjacking. Mm-hmm. And the fact that this young black girl is also still facing probation and the possibility of jail if she doesn't continue through these crazy stipulations on her freedom when she was the one who was being violated is insanity to me. The only good thing out of this is that one of her former teachers by the name of Leland Shipper created a GoFundMe for her online. It's raised more than $400,000. Mm-hmm. $150,000 is going to go for paying this fee off, and then I believe there's $4,000 she owes to the state. The rest of it is going to go to if she wants to go to college, if she wants to own a business. It just really pisses me off how victims are continuously re-victimized during this process, and no one seems to care for their well-being, mentally or physically, after they've been harmed in these ways, especially because, she's a child. And she said, sorry, I think I just missed it. But she basically said that her life had been kind of torn upside down. Found it. She said that following her sentence, Lewis said that my spirit has been burned, but still glows through the flames. Hear me roar, see me glow, and watch me grow. I am a survivor. And I wish this girl all of the love and support and protection throughout this time because she needs it, and no one seems to be caring for her well-being outside of thankfully she has this teacher and the internet community, but it just really sucks that she has to even continue to go through this victimization when she was the one who was being harmed. But
yeah, same.
That's it. Those are all the things that were pissing me off.
All right, well, what a dark thing. What a dark week. Let us move into a more uplifting part of our podcast. It's time now for the things that made us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
All right, what's making you happy this week?
I went first last time. You go first.
You did. Okay, number one went to one of my close friends, Brianna of Bree Books Podcast. Shout out to her. We went to her. She had a fall party. It was very fun. We got to see lots of interesting people. Have not been
very interesting people.
Have not been outside in a long time.
Yes,
a fun house party.
Oh yeah. COVID was probably in the building,
but we weren't because we were on the stoop.
We were on the stoop for the
stoop
majority.
Kid, never leave your stoop. No, it was fun, and being outside, it felt like one of those lovely summer days that we haven't had in a while because we've just been too busy ducking and dodging COVID. So it was good. And then I sent you a video link, and I'm going to cue it up for you. So here's what's happening. There is a McDonald's on Delancey that if you've never been to this McDonald's, it is always known, especially on the weekends, late at night, that there's going to be some shenanigans that happen at this Delancey McDonald's, and there appeared to be a fight that occurred there this past week. Now, we don't know what the start of the fight is, but I'm just gonna for our listeners, I will narrate the video for as much as possible. So right now, there's a man with a book bag who is jumping over trying to jump over the trash can to get this to this group of guys that he's having an argument with. They're holding him back, punches are being thrown. Next thing you know, the man is being punched by 3 different people, and he's like, you know what, do it. He's eating him. They're punching him in his head, and at that point is where everyone should have said, you know what, we should rethink our decisions. Because he's looking at them like, what's good? Like they were just touched by, like he was being hit by a baby.
Look like he about to gas.
So now he's taking his book bag off. At this point, if someone takes their book bag off, like, you gotta run. You don't wait. So he's, next thing you know, he comes out with a friggin' like tomahawk and starts destroying tables and glass, showing how strong he is with his huge axe. Well, not huge, moderately sized axe. People in the background are going crazy, telling them to, like, watch their mouth. He smacks this boy so hard that he falls out of his chair.
That's why I keep away from me all the time, man. Shit like this, you never know.
It's just really animated, and like y'all wanted to jump me, but clearly you weren't about that life. And so I'm teaching you a lesson, and so that you will never make this mistake again. There's a few more moments of him arguing. He's talking to someone within the group, and then his friends are beckoning him to leave. He's threatening, and then they yell at him, "Soho, let's go." So you can pause it. So I will say that this video made me happy this week. Not that I'm a proponent of violence, not at all, but I am a proponent of fuck around and find out. And I feel like that was exactly what this video was.
That was a poor job of a 3-on-1, just for the record. Like, if you're looking at it, they're throwing punches at his head and he's eating all of them. But, like, I would have left. If I throw a punch at someone's head and they're still standing, I'm going. I'm leaving the vicinity. I'm hoping no one's following me. I'm getting an Uber. I'm walking around the building so that I get lost in the crowd. Like, I'm doing everything to make myself scarce, to escape from the situation.
I feel like they were giving, the guys in the video were very much giving Jersey energy, like Long Island energy, or they just, they come from the Midwest and are going to, NYU, and they feel like they're all big and bad because they're in a group. But, like, when they were hitting him, it looked like a baby, like, playing with you.
Yeah.
When you're just like, oh, ouch, oh my goodness, you got me. Like, he was literally just, he didn't care. He didn't look like it was hurting him. And that's when you should know, like,
something's up, something's off.
This person is not to be messed with.
He's not to be fucked
with. It
with.
was giving very much like John Wick, like Taken. I feel like they probably thought, oh, look at this guy. He has his thighs out. And he's not going to be able to mess with us. But they should have known, like, thighs out, knives out.
Yeah, thighs out, he has extra mobility for charging at you with a tomahawk.
Oh, and I was just like, is that what I didn't expect it to be that strong to be able to break the table.
And break the glass. It broke some glass.
It just broke
in there.
it so easily. And I'm like, that's probably both the strength of the tomahawk, but also the strength of him. And the fact that, like, he was in the beginning of the video, like, you could see, like, I'm not trying to fuck with you, but you're trying to fuck with me. And I'm trying to tell you this is not going to end well. And I'm being calm. I'm being cool and collected, but you're pushing it. And now I really am going to have to show you, like, what it is. And so it tickled me. It tickled me, especially because nobody was hurt. No one was left there bloodied. They probably peed their pants a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if somebody has
some
a
prides
tomahawk,
were definitely hurt. Some prides were definitely
and now they're gonna go home, and everybody's gonna know their faces, and it's gonna be like, you're the one who was being a big baby in the McDonald's when that guy whipped out the tomahawk. And funny enough, I've met this guy before.
Of course you have.
You've
met everybody in the world.
I have a lot of friends,
people.
and they know a lot
I've
of
said
people.
this to you in private. I'm saying it on public.
I know a lot of people.
Entirely too many people.
But I would say
that's too many people to keep track of.
I've met Soho in real life, and
I don't know if you want to give their name.
He said his name in the thing. He's doing videos. He's been finding this very hilarious. It's on his social media.
Okay.
Anyway, I've met him before. He is a very jovial, fun character. Does it surprise me that he had a tomahawk? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But they are very lucky he didn't have his dogs with him, because he has two very beautiful pit bulls. That if he was that riled up, it could have turned into a slasher movie, because he wouldn't have needed the tomahawk, because he would have had Simba on his side.
Okay, now you're naming the dogs. Come
what?
on now.
Are they going to dox the dog?
You don't know. They might dox those dogs.
How are they going to dox dogs?
I don't know. They'll dox him. Like, don't dox people. Let this be a lesson. Don't dox people.
You can't be doxxed when you're already online.
Let's do the journalistic thing and just
How
not
are you
say
gonna know
no
what the journalistic
names.
thing is when you're not the journalist?
They're not the immediate sources. Like, come on now.
This is information that is out in the public already. I'm not giving you new information.
I don't know if his name and stuff.
His name is in the video. I'm not discussing journalistic things with you when you're not a journalist.
You should. All right. Email us and see who is right and tell us who is wrong.
Do you want to bet?
No, I don't want to bet.
Because you know you lose bets
It'd be
all
the
time.
one email that we finally get. And it'll be one of your unknown friends, your many legion of friends. You'll be like, hey, this is Odie. Can you please email me and say that I was right?
Did you say words?
Do you ever?
Because that wasn't it. Anyway, I'm gonna add you to what's making me angry this week.
Well, too bad that's not the section that we're in. Anything else that made you happy?
Doing this podcast with you.
Yay! As for me, doing this podcast, yet another week of connecting with friends and family. I'm looking forward to a trip to DC that's coming up really soon. For a Howard homecoming that I'm looking forward to.
Oh, shout out to Howard for completely crushing it at the Morehouse Howard Classic.
Shout out to HU.
You know?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
And we are also in the top 100, only HBCUs in the top 100 of United States universities and colleges. And we are also number 2 on the best HBCU list. I think it's 2 or 3.
Fantastic. Look at us.
1.
Look at us doing it.
And Hampton was number 6 because JK.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it for me.
Yep, that's everything for me.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's Licorish is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.